Take Flight fam, very important message for you. Very important message for you today. So I'm having a conversation with a couple months back with a friend of mine. And she says, Adam, she saw one of my Instagram posts and she goes, Adam, if my husband doesn't lose weight, I'm going to divorce him. And I'm like, girl, why are you telling me this? I'm like, why are you telling me this? She goes, I'm joking, but that's because this individual happened to be Middle Eastern. My friend happened to be a Muslim in the show. Clearly, they don't believe in divorce. Okay. Now, let's just say you happen to be an American. Well, obviously, if your girl is coming to me and goes, hey, I'm going to divorce my husband, or hey, I'm going to break up with XYZ, with Mark, with John, we're all walking around here like we're not replaceable. Let's be honest. Next week, your girl, you screw up one week. Okay, I don't want to begin into scenarios, but bottom line is for all of us American folks here, who, if you screw up, you're gone. Okay, the relationship's over. Hypothetically, you know what I'm talking about, right? So this individual who we're talking about, she's not in my program, but the fact that she joked about, hey, I'm going to divorce my husband, the fact that she's joking about that just makes the example. People are discontent, okay? Especially people in relationships. They start settling, they let themselves go. But here's the thing with this individual who I was talking to, my friend, in my head, I'm like, family, you have to understand the difference. Because she said, hey, I'm trying to get my husband to lose weight, okay? But she's overweight. So in my head, I'm going, my friend, you have to understand two things. The difference, okay? The difference. So over here we have power, and over here we have force. You have to understand the difference between power and then force, okay? So, and I hear this a lot from guys, they say, oh, my girl put on 30 pounds, 40 pounds. They want them to get themselves back in the game. They let themselves go, let's say. And then a lot of times when I hear this, it's ironic because the people who have the complaints are the people who have the same problem as their spouse. Typically, not all the time, but typically that's how it goes. And so when I'm talking to my friend who gave me that story about her husband, power versus force. Force is, I want you to get on this workout plan because I know a lot of you guys have a problem with this. Maybe your spouse, you're trying to lose weight, or you're trying to get in really good shape and your spouse is kind of lagging. You're trying to bring them through, but you don't really quite know how to do that, okay? So two things, okay? We have the correlation between power and we have the correlation between force, okay? So let's just say you force your spouse, you force your wife, you force your husband to do this. Hey, I want you to do this. Or maybe you start to act passive aggressively towards your spouse because you feel like they're lagging. So you're going to be passive aggressive. You're going to withhold certain things from your spouse, let's just say. That is more of a force type of equation. Or if you straight up say, yeah, I want you to get back in the gym. I want you to start doing this. I want you to start doing this. You are forcing this individual to have to comply with your requests. Yet on the complete opposite side right here, we have what? Well, we have power right here. And let me explain to you the difference between here, forcing, passive aggressive, silent treatment right here. And then we go on to power. What's the difference? Let me explain. So oftentimes when we're trying to solve an issue, we start to argue with the person. Like, oh, why are we doing this? Why are you doing it? You might start to argue right here. Versus, hey, each person, Robert Greene says this, each person, you need to treat each person as an undiscovered country. Okay? As an undiscovered country, which means if you are stepping foot on Bali for the first time, for example, and you've never been to Bali. You're going to maybe ask some questions to the tourists, ask some questions to people that already live there, ask some questions to the vendors, and say, hey, what are the best spots? What are the best spots? Hey, who has good lunch? Who has good, food around here? You're going to ask more questions to the people who live in that area, in Bali. You're going to ask, where are the best spots? Okay. You're going to ask them, just like you would ask the people in Bali, hey, where's the best spots? Where's the best spots to figure out what you're dealing with? You want to ask so when you're trying to figure out like why your spouse isn't motivated, there's two things, okay? For one, you have to ask questions and say, hey, why is this going on? Why aren't you, why don't you have time to hit the gym? Okay. It's because you're at work. Okay. What can I do to help you make that process easier? And then come from a state of, hey, I have your best interest in mind. I think if we did this, blah, 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 I'm going here. You should come along. I would really want you there. Setting the intention, but setting the outcome and coming from a place of, hey, I just want to help, I just want to help you, right? Another thing, a lot of you guys want your spouse to hop on your workout plan or start working out, or you want them to pick themselves back up again. They let themselves go. And you want them to change habitually. But on the complete flip side, here's you eating donuts, eating cake, not working out, not being consistent, not having an exercise schedule. But then you're asking this individual, your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, you're asking them to do something that you are not willing to do. And that's what we get wrong. That's something that proves you are not a leader. If you are trying to force an individual to comply with your request that you are not willing to do, that is force. But over here on power, over here on the side of power, this is you going up front, you standing at the forefront for your family, you getting the coach, you investing in the mentorship to help you finally solve this weight issue for good. It's you setting the intention. It's you. Hey, babe, I'm going to the gym next week, or I'm going to the gym in 2 days. You should definitely come. I want you to come. It's you setting that intention, you being the leader, you setting that example. So, hope that was a good message. If you stand at the forefront, if you practice what you preach, if you are the one setting the intention, if you are setting the example, that is a powerful stance. And that is going to get people on your way of thinking. And then pretty soon, you and your spouse are going to be on the beach, sexy bodies, taking those Instagram pics. Everybody's going to wonder why, how you did it. And you told them, hey, I went on Instagram and I followed Full Body Flight and I followed their founder at Adam Garrick on Instagram. Links below. See you guys soon.